Hello, folks. Michael J. here. How you guys doing? I am your host, the host with the most. Okay, today our spotlight is Pierre Poilievre and why he is not suited to be prime minister. People seem to think he's going to fix the problem. That is not the case, folks. That is not the case. So let me show you something here. We're going to bring up a video. This is from Global News. Now, the headline, you can see it for yourself. It's November 20th. This was taken 3 days ago. Fight fire with fire. Poilievre vows to counter Trump economic policies, U.S. tariffs on Canada. What? Say what? Let's go full screen here. Okay? You can see for yourself.
Well, first of all, we should be exempt from all these tariffs. I can't believe that Trudeau signed a trade deal with Trump that leaves open the possibility of a 10% tariff.
Here we go. Just point fingers. He spent his whole time in the House of House of Commons just berating people. Doesn't come up with anything constructive to actually fix things. The housing situation. What's his answer to that? Tax breaks. Conservative tax breaks. Always tax breaks, tax breaks, tax breaks. It's not working. That is not the solution. You keep drinking that Kool-Aid. You've been drinking it for over 100 years, and you're still listening to this parroting. Tax breaks, tax breaks, tax breaks. There's more to the bigger picture than tax breaks. Conservatives have not enhanced your life. Trust me. The engine of Ontario the engine of Canada is Ontario. And you got a guy that's premier conservative that's friggin' decimated the engine of the economic impetus to help drive this country to where it needs to be. Now, I don't have it handy with me, but if you look at the inflation chart worldwide, Canada's just behind the U.S. in recovery from the effects of inflation, leading the world. U.S. is leading the world. Canada's right behind it as far as fighting inflation. You don't give credit where credit's due because you're listening to this parroted rhetoric that just creates a suggestion or an event in your mind that does not serve you, does not serve the people.
I never would have agreed to that. I can't believe he signed on to a trade deal that keeps the softwood lumber tariffs in place.
Here's the thing. Now he's bringing up Harper. The original free trade agreement was signed, negotiated by a conservative by the name of Mulroney. Let's get the facts correct. The original free trade agreement was a conservative deal because there was a conservative government in place at that time. They were in situ. It was a conservative government. So he's just blaming Trudeau. Just blame Trudeau. Blame Trudeau. I was at the shopping a super center not too long ago. Trudeau's fault. The ignorance. And this is hard to take. Your ego's going to push back. You really have to educate yourself, folks. Let's listen to him a bit more.
Got those lifted in 90 days as Prime Minister. Trudeau's had 9 years and 3 presidents, and not only are the tariffs back in place, they've been doubled, killing forestry jobs right across British Columbia.
More doom and gloom.
For an end to the softwood tariffs and exemption to Buy America.
Same thing as Trump's. I'll be fighting for you. The average guy, the little guy, I'll be fighting for you. They don't fight for you. Trump said that. I'll fight for you. And guess what? A few days ago, Texas, a Republican-led state, abolished overtime pay for workers. Did you hear me? Texas, a Republican state, which is a conservative movement, abolished overtime pay for workers. Here's another thing you're misunderstanding. The state of Texas GDP is slightly larger than all of Canada. Okay, wrap your head around this. The GDP of the state of Texas is slightly larger than all of Canada. And so Poilievre is going to fight fire with fire. He vows to counter Trump economic policies and U.S. tariffs on Canada. Hold on. 345 million people in the U.S. You're going to fight the whole U.S.? Come on. You got to build bridges. Build bridges, not walls. Fighting fire with fire is just a waste of time, serves no one. And this is what you have to understand, folks. Fighting fire with fire is a waste of time, serves no one. Back to our regularly scheduled video in progress.
Like Harper has secured for us. But more importantly, I'll fight fire with fire. The Americans have taken a net $500 billion of our investment in the last 9 years. We were winning the investment war with the Americans before Trudeau, having more American dollars here than we had there. Why has the money left? Why is it pouring out of our country? Rampant tax increases by the Trudeau NDP Liberal government have pushed money out of our country to the point where American workers now earn $22,000 more than their Canadian counterparts. I want our money back. I will be axing the carbon tax, cutting income tax, cutting taxes on investment to bring home those hundreds of billions of dollars and to bring home production and paychecks for our people.
Do you think you can work with Donald Trump? He's a transactional leader if there ever was one. Do you think you can?
Let's be clear. He won't be bringing home anything. All this is paper shuffling, and we can get into further details and go down this rabbit hole in a much clearer and fundamentally enriching way that provides an educational comparative. But we're not at this moment in time because we want to keep this short and sweet. But him and this bring it home, it's just a mantra. It's just to create division, get the sense of feel that I'm doing it for the little guy. He's doing nothing for the little guy. He's just filling an ideology void that the conservative movement has pounced upon because it's something that's prevalent in the U.S. and around the world. We have this issue. It's not exclusive to Canada. I digress.
Actually work with him because, we're his friend when he wants us to be a friend, and when we're not. And that's just the way he works. Do you think you can work with him?
We have no choice. It's that we live next door to the biggest economic and military superpower the world has ever seen. Trump wants what's best for American workers. I want what's best for Canadian workers. And, we're not going to be suckers anymore and hand our money. I mean, Trump would love nothing more than keep Trudeau in power because he can walk all over him and he can take his money. When Trudeau quadruples the...
This is a false narrative. This is just a scare tactic just to scare you, using fear, creating a fight and flight response in the people where you can't see clearly anymore. Just using fear. It's a tactic. I'm making you aware of it. Understand it. It's just a tactic. Fear.
The carbon tax to 61 cents a litre. Trump's going to be on the phone with all of our companies saying, hey, I heard about the big tax hike up there. Why don't you come down here? There's zero carbon tax. And you can leave the poverty and the hunger and the homeless encampments and the food bank lineups behind to start your business and deliver affordable goods south of the border.
Hold on. If you think for a moment there's not homelessness in the United States, you've got another thing coming. It's not like what you think. The minimum wage for federal workers is $7.25 or $7.50 an hour. It's 17 plus in Ontario. Like, come on. He's not telling you the full story, just striking fear in you to create fear. That's all he's doing. And there's no advantage to putting his government in place. You're just going to waste another 4 years and go backwards. You're not going to solve anything. You may think you might solve something, but no, you're not going to solve a thing. It's not going to wash away your problems. Not like that. Not like that. Doesn't work that way.
So that's what you're in store for with Justin Trudeau. Trump wants our jobs. Trudeau wants to help him take them. Let's not get distracted. The problems we have in immigration happened under Justin Trudeau before.
Now he's striking the fear with the immigration card like they did in the United States. Now, if you understand how the macro and microeconomic factors work, it's actually the immigration that's helped reduce the effect of inflation so quickly. Don't kid yourself. Between the United States was number one in bringing inflation down, and it's because of immigration. So here's another fear-mongering tactic you have to be aware of.
For this election, President Trump has not even taken office yet, and the chaos in our immigration system has happened mostly in the last 3.5 years when President Biden was in power. So let's not turn our gaze away from the source of the problem, which is Justin Trudeau, who increased our population growth by 300% in a matter of a couple of years, who, by his own admission, this isn't me, allowed massive fraud in international students, temporary foreign workers, and the refugees.
Hold on. This massive fraud, this is another, I'm going to just call it's another bullshit fucking angle. Pardon the language, but it is. It's really sickening the fact that you have to listen to that. There is fraud around the world. And who's committing this fraud? Organized crime. As a matter of fact, a former cabinet minister in the George Bush administration, talking to a Danish TV group. Back then, she's talking about organized crime, how the government deals with organized crime. Organized crime's in your banking system, it's in your governments, it's everywhere. And this is the real issue, organized crime. And this really needs to be fixed. You don't understand the real issues, folks.
System. By his own admission, the liberal immigration policies have caused massive housing, job, and healthcare shortages. And now he's basically denouncing his entire immigration policy and expecting us to believe that he can fix the problems that he caused. This rampant incompetence has caused human misery both for newcomers and for multi-generational Canadians like you and I. The bottom line is we have to fix our immigration, get back to the best system in the world, the one that brought my wife here as a refugee legally and lawfully, the one that brought so many people here to pursue the Canadian promise. And we definitely need more frontline border guards. We need to secure Roxham Road and other points of entry. We have to make it clear that it is not allowed for people to just walk across our borders. And we have to look at legislative changes if necessary to prevent people from abusing our system. It is possible to be a refugee to the United States. It's not possible to be a refugee from the United States. We vacation there. It's not, it's not a dictatorship. It's not a dangerous. It's not a.
Okay, so here we go. Poilievre has no answers for anything. All he's doing is fear-mongering. He has no answer for anything. He brings up the housing issue. A lot of the housing issue is because of corporations have bought up a lot of the properties. A lot of the rental properties have been bought up by corporations. And that's an issue down in the United States as well that nobody's really addressing. Secondly, they've been using software from an American company in order to price fix to keep the cost of rental units at a higher rate. So it's skewered the whole housing market. Financialized landlords, they call themselves. This is the real issue. People, you gotta wake up. Is Trudeau the best? No. But he may be the best right now for the needs of what we need with a coalition, whereas the NDP can get over themselves and maybe work with... I'm not a fan of the NDP, trust me on that one. Where the NDP can work with the Liberal Party to create some sort of balance. The Bloc had an opportunity to be part of that, so we could have a tripartite, three-party influence in the governorship of Canada, which would be ideal. But the Bloc says, I want this for what I want to support you, which was the increase in the old age security, which is a great thing. But unfortunately, the macroeconomic factor is a real hard pill to swallow, especially unless we do a restructuring of the financial system. And to say if you can't do that, which the government can't really implement just like a slam dunk. I already explained we're no bigger than the state of Texas. We're not huge. Our land mass is huge, but we are not huge GDP-wise. And it's the dollar that has a lot to do with the overall bigger picture of how you can influence. So you have to use your understanding of geopolitical issues in a manner that is more harmonizing. Because using force is not going to get you what you want. So I'm going to leave with that. The bottom line is build bridges, not walls. This fear-mongering is no good for anybody. So I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to leave that with you. Comments, please comment. And I'm going to sign off. We're love and peace to everybody. Stay safe. Please comment. It'd be interesting to see what your viewpoints are. And we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.